Katchatheev, an island located in Park Straits between India and Sri Lanka, has suddenly become the focus of attention of the whole country. This follows an allegation raised by the BJP that a former Congress government had handed over Katchatheev in a platter to Sri Lanka in 1974. The whole issue came up after Tamil Nadu BJP President Annamalai filed an RTA, and the reply to it revealed the details of handover of Katchatheev to Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, the opposition has alleged that the BJP has raked up this issue with a political aim. They say that raking up the issue at the time of elections is meant to gain a foothold in Tamil Nadu, which BJP has been trying desperately for decades. But the BJP replies that the issue has been a serious one and has been raised in Parliament several times, and so they cannot ignore it. That is the status quo of the situation. Now, what is the BJP trying to make any political gain by raising the issue? Are there other serious issues involved? What's the history of Katchatheev? Now, does India has a real claim over the island? Let's look into all those aspects. This is Harikumar with Insights. Now, in reply to the allegation raised by the opposition that BJP is trying to make political gains out of this issue, Foreign Minister Jaishankar said that in the last 5 years, more than 1,000 Indian fishing vessels have been detained by Sri Lanka, and over 6,000 Indian fishermen have been taken in custody also. So he says the issue is quite a serious one, and it was the government of India that took initiatives in getting all those who were taken in custody released also. So the government has got a very serious issue before them, and they cannot simply ignore it. That is what Mr. Jaishankar is saying. And meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the Congress had failed really sacrifice national interests. He pointed out that the Congress was not interested in the whole issue. He noted that former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, in 1958, he opined that this was a little island which he doesn't care, and he didn't want it to trouble him, or that was a nuisance, and he was willing to hand it over to Sri Lanka. Again, in 1974, India and Sri Lanka signed an agreement when Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India and Sirimavo Bandaranaike was the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. At that time, the island was handed over to Sri Lanka. But still, Indian fishermen enjoyed fishing rights around the waters of the island, and Indian pilgrims had a right to visit the island also. There is a shrine, Christian shrine there, St. Anthony's Church, and pilgrims from Tamil Nadu, especially fisher people, used to go on pilgrimage to the shrine also. So there was no prevention or hindrance to their visit to Katchatheev at that time. But in 1976, by exchanging letters, the government of India and Sri Lanka, between these two government of India surrendered all the remaining rights Indians enjoyed in the island. From that time onwards, Indian fishermen cannot go near the island and engage in fishing. So that became a worry for several lakhs of Indian fishermen from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, etc. So this is a very serious issue, livelihood issue for the fishermen. Now, is the only issue that counters that exists now? Absolutely not. The fact is that currently the most serious issue is an island, uninhabited island like Katchatheev is most alluring to China, which is trying, which is doing whatever they could do, their level best to gain or to encircle India and gaining supremacy in Indian Ocean as well as Sri Lanka. If you look at how China gained influence in Sri Lanka over the last few years, for example, now they have got Hambantota port on lease for 99 years. Though, according as per the lease, Chinese military vessels or a Chinese navy cannot enter there. But in the guise of or of Chinese of ordinary workers or commercial ships, actually Chinese military ships are paying visit to the port. Again, the eastern terminal of Colombo port is now controlled by China, and China is gaining in complete influence over Sri Lanka. If you consider the economic crisis that Sri Lanka has been going through and their fragile economy, now they cannot deny China because they have taken huge loans from China also. And an island like Katchatheev, which is around 280 acres, that is more around 1.2 square kilometers, provides an ideal place for Chinese Navy. They could build some sort of base there. They may not be saying it outrightly or directly. They may be saying that this is a repair center or something like that. Now they can build an observatory there and observe what is happening going on in India. Now they have got on the eastern side, now they have got great influence. For example, the Cocoa Islands, which India once handed over to Myanmar, is now controlled by China. And on the western side, now they have gained influence in Maldives, and most probably they are going to build some bases in Maldives. Now they could do, if they can do it on Kachati also, that means they have surrounded India on the southern side also. This is just 26 kilometers from Rameswaram. Actually, this is more distant. Katchatheev is more distant from Jaffna. It is more than 60 kilometers. So Katchatheev is nearer to India. Now, let's look into the historic connection of Katchatheev with India. Actually, the island was owned by King of Ramanad or Ramanathapuram in South Tamil Nadu, and he had zamindari rights over the island. And when Ramanadu came under the control of British East India Company and later on British rule, it became part of Madras Presidency also, and that way it became part of British India. The fact that India handed it over to Sri Lanka means it was controlled by India. You cannot hand over rights of something you doesn't own. If that was not India's, then what was the need of Sri Lanka to sign an agreement and get the rights? So definitely it belonged to India. Now in 1958 and 1960, when the issue was raised, legal luminaries in India like M.C. Satalwar, who was the Attorney General, and later on another luminary who was associated with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, both of them said that though Sri Lanka may stake some claims over the island, India definitely has got a greater claim over the island. And Krishnaswamy, the lawyer who was consulted by Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 1960, said that India should always insist that Indian fishermen should get fishing rights around the island. But India surrendered each and every right to Sri Lanka, and now it is completely under Sri Lanka's control. Now, the most important aspect is that there is every chance that China will establish their presence if India is not raising the claim. Now, there is an answer to the question why the BJP government is raising the issue at present when the country is going to polls. Of course, there will be some political gains for the Sri Lanka, and no political party will forego such claims if there is a chance. If they get a chance to gain influence in Tamil Nadu by taking up this issue, what is wrong with it? It is within the right of every political party to raise public issues and gain the confidence of public and win the confidence and establish their presence. There is nothing that is within the democracy, that is within their rights in democracy. And you need to consider that the whole issue, the whole wrong was committed by Congress. They should not have done that. And even afterwards, when they realized that they had committed a mistake, there was ample time to correct all those mistakes. The Congress, which had ruled India continuously and intermittently till the second UPA government term ended in 2014, did nothing to solve the issue. And the DMK was actually part of the first and second UPA governments also. And they could have pressurized the Union government or Congress, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to intervene in the issue. And they didn't do that. And now if somebody else is trying to do that, what is the use in making an outcry? There is no use. Now, it is perfectly within the right of Government of India or BJP government to intervene in the issue, because China might have thought that this is the time of elections and they might have upped pressure on Sri Lanka, just because they might have thought that this time the Government of India may not be interested, may not have, their focus may not be on this issue. They might have tried that, or they may be trying to gain certain rights on Katchatheev. So perhaps this is why the government is showing some urgency in the issue. Anyway, that island, India has a rightful claim over the island, and India should not let go not even an inch of its land, or should not donate an inch of the land. That won't bring any goodwill to the country. So that's for now. Meet you with another issue next time. Till then, goodbye.